Welcome back, folks. Me, Phil Toure, watching part 1 of our Sonic the Hedgehog playthrough on the Sonic Origins collection. We're going to play an anniversary mode, and I'll let you watch this awesome movie. Welcome back, folks. So we're going to play Sonic 1 with that lovely intro video played. And then we are going to jump right into Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to play as Sonic, of course, because this is his game. It's not Tails, Knuckles, or definitely Amy's game. And so we're going to be playing anniversary mode, which means we will not have any lives. We'll have coins instead, which means you can die as much as you want. But the reason why I'm playing this is because I like to have extra chances on the Chaos Emerald special stages. That's just me. I can most definitely do it on the original mode because that's how I used to play it, but I just like this mode a little bit more for the extra insurance on special stages. Because we're going to go for the good ending on this game, folks. So Green Hill Zone. Green Hill Zone is the quintessential Sonic the Hedgehog level. The music's pretty iconic, and if you don't recognize it, well, I mean, do you even game, bro? So make sure that you don't get hit by enemies like I just did right there, but luckily I had a shield, so I keep my rings. And the whole objective is to try to keep at least 50 rings when you're on the first 2 acts of any one zone. Because the reason you want to is you get this giant ring at the end that you see here. You jump into it, and then you get a chance of nabbing one of the Chaos Emeralds. So there's 3 acts per zone. The first 2 are just normal levels that end, and then you have a chance at a Chaos Emerald. And the last one is the boss fight level with the the evil Dr. Ivo Robonik. But these special stages are pretty fun. I like them. It's just a rotating stage. You can only influence Sonic's direction, and then he can jump, and that's it. But that's all you need, because that's all it allows you to do. Fancy that. But break those blocks by just touching them, and then you get the Chaos Emerald. There's blue, that takes 4 touches to break. Green, which is 3. Yellow, which is 2. And then red, which is 1. When you touch them, they'll disappear, and then if there's more blocks guarding the Chaos Emerald, you have to repeat that process to break the blocks. And we'll talk more about the special stages when we get to the next one. But Green Hill Zone Act 2, it's a little bit longer, a little bit more dangerous. There's spikes, and then more spikes, and there's some bottomless pits, I believe, on the bottom, and then there's one instance of bottomless pits up on the top where the invincibility is near the checkpoint. But I'm going to stick to the top. And in the anniversary collection, you also have the spin dash, as in, like, you push down and you just push A, the jump button, and then you rev Sonic up into a ball, and then you can get a lot of speed. You didn't have this ability in the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Right here, this is what I'm talking about. If you jump into those spikes because you have the invincibility for whatever reason, or you just don't jump and land on, if you keep running forward, you'll actually fall through the floor where the platforms are rising and lowering. So make sure you don't fall into that little trap right there. So go in here, and then you'll jump and get into the get in there, and that giant ring, and we barely make it. So you want to make sure that you have that ring, so that way you can get the second Chaos Emerald. So now we're going to go into Special Stage 2, and the whole point of these is you want to avoid, other than the Chaos Emerald, you want to avoid these random blocks, not random blocks, but these dead ends that have the word goal on the blocks. You touch those, you actually get ejected out of the special stage, and you lose your attempt at the Chaos Emerald under the original game. But with the new anniversary version, you can actually retry by trading one of your coins or one of your lives if this was the original, but the original didn't have that option. So that's awesome, and I'll talk more about the little individual blocks when we get to Special Stage 3. So we got our second Chaos Emerald, and then we're going to go in Act 3 of Green Hill Zone. And so from there, we will fight the evil Dr. Ivo Robonik. And so now we will get the invincibility, go down here, break through this wall, and then go through this tunnel, and then make sure you jump before that spring, like unlike me. That way you can keep your momentum going. And speed is a game in Sonic. That is most certainly true. But something I feel that goes under the radar and doesn't get talked a lot is your speed management, or modulating your speed to the appropriate situation. Because all that speed is great and all, but it means absolutely nothing if you're running headlong into spikes or lava or into an enemy or some sort of speed trap like a spring that bounces you back. Especially if you care about score and getting personal time trials or stuff like that, if you're into that kind of stuff. Personally, I'm a little bit conservative with my play. I don't really care about speed running stuff in Sonic, ironically. But enough of that. Let's talk about the boss fight with Dr. Robotnik. And the boss fights in the Sonic Origins collection, especially in the Anniversary mode, it's a bit different. If you played the original, you already see that these platforms are kind of moved in a little bit to where there's space on the left of the left platform and the right of the right platform, where you can fall off if you don't stop yourself appropriately on the platform. And then also at the very beginning, you saw how I couldn't hit Robotnik right away and end the fight really quickly, so you have to actually fight him. But 8 hits is enough to take him out, and then you jump on top of the animal capture capsule, and you're done with Green Hill Zone. And one more thing about Robotnik in this case, you can jump through the white chain, and you won't take damage, but of course you'll take damage if you touch the wrecking ball. But next zone, Marble Zone. And Marble Zone, I'm probably gonna get a bit of flack for this, but Marble Zone, I feel, I like it. It's one of those zones I really do enjoy, because it teaches you that, speed, while important, is if you don't watch what you're doing, like right there, if you just run headlong, you're gonna normally fall into a trap of some sort, whether that be a spring, a spike, or some enemies or lava. So it teaches you to kind of modulate your speed. However, I do see people's problems with this level because, first zone is speed, and now it's kind of like a traditional platformer, and you're kind of going slow. There's some sections where you can go fast, but it's most definitely not super fast. And you're gonna have some of these puzzles where you got to push a block onto a switch to raise a chandelier. Actually, I think this is the only instance of that comes to mind. There might be another instance of it on an alternate path of some of the later acts, but that's off the top of my head the only one that comes to mind. Jump on these little platforms that drop from the ceiling so you can safely make it across the lava. And then you don't have to worry about falling in lava and getting hit. And another thing about Marble Zone, there's a lot of hidden pathways in the wall. So what I like to do is I like to jump and press Sonic in the direction of the wall. Like, for example, there was a hidden passageway here that led to 40 rings and a coin. So that's awesome. So we're going to take these move-in platforms and we're going to get out. We're almost to the end of the act. And again, be careful about the chandeliers and the smashing platforms. They will hurt, of course, and you don't want to get damaged. And then in the lava's case, as you saw there, fireballs do jump up, so be very mindful of that. Take a minute to just wait in front of the lava and get used to the pattern, unless you're speedrunning and you want to get through here as fast as possible. But with that, we're done with Act 1, and now we can go into my second least favorite special stage. And the reason why I hate it is a giant open special stage, and the only thing that you can use to jump other than the sides are these little blocks in the middle. And there's a lot of different blocks here. There's an up and down block which will speed up or slow down the rotation depending on the block you hit. Up is faster, down is slower. The R's will cause the rotation to reverse, hence R is reverse. You got the bouncy blocks that have the stars that will launch you in a direction if you touch them. And of course, you have the goals that will absolutely are absolutely not the goals. So you want to get these Chaos Emeralds here. And one thing about that little area that I was stuck in, you couldn't do that in the original one. You would just stay. I feel like you would just like stay like to the side, and you could just keep touching it and break it. But you wouldn't get caught in the middle and break two at the same time, or start weakening two at the same time. At least that's what I remember. But This special stage, as you see, it's wide and it's open. It's a lot harder to stay in the middle where the Chaos Emerald is. If you're coming at from the direction I'm at, if you're in the area where I had broken most of the diamonds or crystals, whatever they're called, the blocks, staying in the back gives you a little bit more of an easier time trying to break it, I find, because you're closer to more jumping points than the other opposite direction. But with that, we have the third Chaos Emerald, and then now because we got a lot of rings, we get a coin bonus. That's awesome. Very, very awesome. 3 coins. And in the original version, I think you got to continue if you lost all your lives. It's been a long time since I got a game over in Sonic 1, but I digress. Act 2, there's a lot more of the underground sections, a lot more of the platformer sections, a lot more navigating traps. There'll be sections where lava will fall from the ceiling, which is what we're about to get to. There'll be sections where there'll be fireballs that will shoot out of the wall, out of little shooters. So you need to be a little bit wary about that. And the caterpillars, of course, you don't want to jump on the spiky parts. You want to either jump on the head, which is a little bit of a harder target, or you can run and push down and then spin into their heads, which is generally the easier way to destroy them. But since you also have the spin dash, you can also do that as well by holding down and pushing the jump button. And then Sonic will rev up and you let go of the down button, and then he will launch in the direction that he's facing. For those who don't know how to spin dash. If you're watching this, you've probably already played Sonic and you know all this basic information I'm giving, but you know, for the 2 people who've never played Sonic, there you go. And then carefully go this way. As you saw, I just killed the caterpillars that way that I just explained. Just running, pushing down. I want to say there's a hidden spot by that shield box by pushing against the wall. And I also want to say that when these platforms, I'm on these 2x2 platforms, if you got some speed going, you can jump from that first one to this second one, and with enough speed you can actually leap off this one and get to that ledge on the far left. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it can be done. But if you don't want to do that and you want to be a little bit conservative with me, like me, you can just stay on that platform and then jump and make it that way. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you just want to get the Chaos Emeralds and you need to keep your 50 rings. So be careful about the fireballs right here. As you see there, it did want to jump out. I just waited for it a little bit. Just carefully platform here to get across. And one thing I will say about Sonic 1's soundtrack, it is quite the phenomenal soundtrack in my opinion. Marble Zone is probably easily in my top 3 soundtracks in Sonic 1. I would say Spring Yard Zone, Labyrinth Zone, and then Marble Zone are my favorites. And honorable mention would be Green Hill Zone, of course. But enough of that. If you break through these blocks with a like through a pattern like that, and you break all of them, you get quite a lot of points. So if you're very curious about getting the highest score and everything, you might want to break those blocks in that order I broke them in, because that maximizes your score. So go ahead and use that invincibility, use it to just jump through the lava and not care. And I was a little bit slow, so I couldn't catch that chandelier. So that's unfortunate. So jump on top of it and just keep climbing up, and we're almost done here. And then with the invincibility, I could have actually just squeezed through those spikes, but I decided to not risk it for the brisket. So we got 50 rings, jump into this giant ring, and then we'll go into special stage 4 for the green Chaos Emerald. And a little bit behind the scenes for this part, I was talking some mad mess about how Chaos Emerald 4 is really easy to my wife, because she was actually watching me play this a little bit, and she, at the very end, I mess up and get caught in the goal. I honestly do think this is one of the easier levels once you understand the way this pattern is. But I got the goal, and then to my horror, I was like, "Oh no!" And my wife was like, "Really?" So very fun. But follow the pattern here. Sorry, I digressed a little bit right there. But if you just take your time and just look at what's ahead, you can see which way is the safe way to go and which way is not the safe way to go. And then what I recommend is, if you can rotate the direction with these R's in a way that helps you, I would suggest doing it. Do you see that? I'm not just going through it super fast. I'm letting it just coast me, guide me and going down the pathways, and then going in here with the arrows. The arrows give you a big hint where to go. But this is what I'm talking about. It's kind of really hard to get into the goals unless you just hit the bouncy blocks without paying attention where you're going. I'm just like, yeah, no! I can just hear it in my head all over again. But you can trade in a coin to restart. And I'm just going ahead and jump cut to where I last left off, and I almost messed up again there. And yeah, so that's what happens if you lose these special stages in anniversary mode. So awesome little retry option there, in my opinion. So grab the Chaos Emerald and we can get out, and we can finish Marble Zone with Act 3. But we got the 4th Chaos Emerald. We have the blue, the pink, the yellow, and the green. I forgot what the other 2 colors are, but we'll see when we get to them in the next part. But we're gonna finish off this part. We still gotta finish off Robotnik, so you get to hang out with me just for a little bit longer. So now we are going to just continue along here. Just take out all the bugs, all the robots, whatever that you want to call them. The badniks, that's what they're called. Sorry. And you can go down this way. You can continue to right to go down an alternate path. I'm just gonna go down this way and get smacked by a fireball. So that's not very fun. So break down this pathway, keep going down, and then you can spin dash here, or you can run and push down if you're playing the original version. The spin dash isn't available. And then you can take out the caterpillar here, or you can just avoid it like I am. And once again, if you time your jumps properly with a little bit of speed, you can leap from where we pushed that block to that single block to this double block, and then with a little bit of, I guess you can't. You can at least get there. You have to push that block. Never mind. My bad. So give it a little time. Let it jump up and then jump off for this platform. And then we're going to very carefully platform from here to the top and then across. And again, you can decide to kill the caterpillars, or you can avoid them if you don't want to take them out. And then right here, jump into the wall right here, follow all the way right. You get a coin box or an extra life box if you're playing the original version. And this is a very nice, nifty shortcut that cuts about a minute off your time, I find. Especially if you don't mess it up like me, where I'm going to the right, but I should be going to the left. So right is bad, go left. And of course, do not jump into the spikes right here if you can avoid it. Jump every other one and you should be fine. You don't get pegged by spikes, and if you're careful and you don't get pegged by fireballs, that would be fantastic here. But since there is no Chaos Emerald to get on this level, I'm not so worried about my ring count. We're almost to Robotnik, so jump over this. So almost got hit by fireball right there. Continue down here, and we're gonna fight Robotnik. Now, this fight's been modified a little bit too. Right there, I could have already hit him as he's coming out from the side. But I feel like the pit in the middle is a little bit bigger, and the fireballs jump a little higher. But his strategy is just to drop fire down and force you to jump over the lava pit. And then he wants you to get hit by those fireballs that come up. But 8 hits, and he is most definitely done. We're going to hit the animal capture pod here. Capsule, whatever you want to call it. Release him, and then we'll be done with Marble Zone. And we will go into Spring Yard Zone in the next part. So, I hope you like this part. If you like this this game and me let's playing it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Later, and bye.